lack of sleep had on her emotionally. Darl, I'm so sorry. I'm trying hard not to let this sleep issue impact you and Ethan too much, but it's difficult, as I'm feeling rotten most of the time at the moment, either due to my severe lack of sleep or the amount of medication I'm taking, or both probably. I really hate this situation, and I'm doing my best. I'm sure it's temporary, and I'll be back on track soon. I know it's not great for you either. I'm sorry for that. I love you both so very, very much. 4 kisses. The morning she broke her foot came in the midst of a really bad period of insomnia. She had also been having headaches that had gone from a few a week to an almost daily occurrence. To me, a broken foot didn't seem much more than an irritating inconvenience. To her, it felt like the final straw. She had had enough. With Gemma out of action, I got used to my new life of doing the school run. I had always enjoyed doing it when Gemma couldn't, but I wasn't used to experiencing the incessant chatter of the school gate every day. Unless you're a seasoned school runner, it can feel like a bizarre world that takes you outside of your comfort zone as you struggle to fit in. Meanwhile, Gemma was trying to get used to life with her Darth Vader boot. Like so many other times over the course of our marriage, she adapted brilliantly and without ever complaining. But I could see that the headaches and the feeling of tiredness were growing steadily worse. Every time she complained of another headache, I would urge her to go to the doctors. All too often, my concerned advice was met with Gemma's trademark roll of the eyes. She might not have been worried, but I was beginning to worry very much. A few years earlier, I had suffered quite badly with depression, and slowly, but surely, I had begun to feel it creeping back into our lives. Only this time, it came with an unwanted bedfellow, anxiety. I was worried about Gemma, but I didn't know to what extent my worries were being affected by the depression. The depressive feelings had been slowly wearing me down, and the doctor had signed me off work and prescribed antidepressants. I was due to go back for a follow-up appointment a couple of weeks after Gemma's disagreement with the curb. The night before the appointment, she sent a message to her close friend Esther that gives a glimpse into how she was feeling. I'm in bed, had some tea, and then started feeling horrendous. Feel like I'm totally done in at the moment. Permanent banging headache, mouth ulcers, exhausted, and about 2 hours sleep last night. No, it will get better, but it feels tough right now. I had little idea how bad she actually was, but I asked if we could have a joint appointment. At the very least, I wanted to find out if there really was anything to worry about. Mid-morning, we sat down with a doctor we'd always liked and always got on with, although we'd half joked that if you needed a prescription for anything quickly, he'd be your man. Gemma told him she'd been having reoccurring headaches for the past few weeks and how she'd been feeling so very tired most of the time. The doctor knew about Gemma's long-term struggles with insomnia and understandably felt the tiredness was linked to it. But then he asked about her headaches, specifically how stressed she was feeling about me. I knew Gemma must have been worried. Why wouldn't she be? To see your other half struggling with mental illness is horrible and deeply unsettling. You want to do anything you can to help make it better, but you feel helpless. Between the lack of sleep and the stress of seeing me hit so hard by depression, it wasn't surprising Gemma's headaches were so bad. We left with a prescription of codeine for her and more depression pills for me. For a time, the codeine did its job of easing the pain, but Gemma's tiredness was becoming markedly worse. Some of it I could see for myself. Some of it I found out later. Her friend Liz told me just how hard Gemma had found a shopping trip to Reading later that week. When it had come to hobbling back to the car park in her big old boot, Gemma told Liz she didn't have the energy to get there. She said she felt physically weak and had to sit down. Eventually, Gemma being Gemma, got up, carried on, and made it back to the car. Had I known about it at the time, it would have set off an alarm bell in my head. But the next morning, the alarm bells were definitely ringing. As I took her up a cup of tea on the Thursday morning, I noticed the big bruise on her thigh. In a very matter-of-fact way, she told me it was the bruise from when she had fallen. I thought it was weird that it was still there, 3 weeks after the accident. But Gemma seemed unconcerned, and that was the end of the conversation. We never talked about it again. Knowing what I know now about blood cancers, a bruise like that can be a telltale sign that something serious is at work. Back then, we thought nothing more of it. By the Friday morning, it was becoming ever clearer that this wasn't just headaches mixed in with another dose of insomnia. Gemma was getting ill. Really ill. When I got back from the morning school run, she was still in bed.